The college basketball experience, Missouri Valley Conference basketball preview for the 24-25 season preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with our promo code TCE SGPN to get a 50% deposit up to $1,000. That is the Underdog Fantasy promo code TCE SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college football and NFL with Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM today. Welcome, everybody, into the college basketball experience. Missouri Valley. Oh, boy, this is going to be a fun one. We're starting to count down the episodes, and when you get to the Valley, that's when you know you're close to November 4th. This league is absolute madness. Proud fan bases, great coaches, great culture, and one of the best conference tournaments, Arch Madness, out there. So can't wait to talk about it. All 12 teams, 1 through 12. Talk about the history of each program and rank them 1 through 12. Our sleeper team, our bust team, who we think will win the league in 24-25, and who we think will represent the Valley in March Madness. Maybe 2 teams. Once upon a time, this was a 2-bid league. We'll talk about it. But first off, I am Moneyline Mac, aka the former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin. Also known as Mac Tonight over here at the College Experience. And joining me, this guy loved some Valley. He's not too far from Valley Country up there in the great state of Michigan. He is the window banging, drywall hanging, LeBaron driving, Noah Beanick, a.k.a. Noah B77. You fired up for some Valley, bro?
Yeah, I'm not too far away from the Valley, mainly because, the Missouri Valley doesn't have a team in Missouri anymore. There's Missouri State, sorry. But Missouri State's it's not this year. It's next year when Missouri State is moving out. But, yeah, that makes this is basically the Indiana-Illinois Valley. And, up here in Michigan, I'm not too far away. Like you said, Arch Madness is one of the greatest conference tournaments each and every single March. Look forward to this conference. So much fun. This year, there's going to be, I don't know if parity is the correct word, but I think the cream of the crop is going to come back to the pack this year, Mac.
Yeah, well, so to really just dive into it right away, they got killed in the portal, unfortunately. A lot of their guys transferring up. You look at it last year, Indiana State wins it. Schwartz goes over to St. Louis. DeVries wins the tournament. He was right there. He won the tournament back-to-back years. He's obviously at West Virginia now. You got some guys that, these are just good basketball programs, but you're probably not going to have that dominant team, although Bradley's pretty good. Bradley's been a pretty good staple in this league over the last couple of years. So we'll talk about the old Braves here. And Northern Iowa's always been good, beating Kansas that one year in the tournament. Murray State, Belmont coming over from the Ohio Valley. The Salukis, can they get this thing going back? Illinois State, can they get? All these programs have tradition. Can't we talk about it, man? What's great about this league? This is a true basketball league. Like they love their basketball in these towns. Yes, in these little towns. Basketball is first.
Yeah, these are the leagues that, I tend to love and respect the most. You look at the Big East and the A10, the MVC's right there with them. Mac, I failed us once again. Didn't go and listen back to last year's episode. My sister's in town from college, so I had my hands full all day. But, dude, it was a super fun conference last year. They were so good in non-con. It's going to be a trend that we talk about here. There was even the bottom of this conference was really good in the non-conference, and that helped out. This conference, Indiana State was like a game out of getting an at-large bid into the NCAA tournament last year. And then, like I was talking about, it'll be a theme because there were a couple of teams where the wheels just fell off once it got into conference play. Mainly because Indiana State only had 3 losses. Drake only had 4 losses. There were just not many wins to go around when you had the cream of the crop. Like I said, I think that comes a little bit back to the pack this year. Let's talk about it. Beginning in alphabetical order, the Belmont Bruins are up first for us here. Last year, they were 20-13 overall, 12-8 in the MVC, which was good for 5th. The jump up from Ohio Valley to Missouri Valley has not quite affected Belmont through 2 seasons so far. Top 5 offenses in both seasons with top 5 place finishes in the MVC standings both years. Casey Alexander has it rolling. However, this will be a little bit of a rebuilding year for the Bruins after losing their top 5 scorers from last season. Belmont basically replacing their entire starting 5 outside of Isaiah Walker, who played 27.5 minutes last season. He returns, put up 6 and 5, shot at 32% from deep. But they bring in Carter Witt from Furman, who played 23.5 minutes last season, averaged 8, 3, and 3.5 assists over a steal per game. They also bring in Brody Peebles from Liberty, who played 21 minutes a game. Those two are a backcourt duo, graduate senior transfers, probably going to be roommates this semester in this season. I would like to think that there's a good chance that those two might roll for the Bruins if this team's going to be good. And also Jonathan Pierre comes in from Memphis. He only played 6 minutes a game last year at that disaster. Aiden Noyes comes in from Richmond, played 10 minutes for the Spiders. Tyler Lundblade, a 6'7" redshirt senior, comes in from TCU. I really like the transfer portals that they have here, but just outside of the 2 graduate seniors coming in from Furman and Liberty, which are really good gets in my opinion, outside of that, they lack just tread on the tires, Mac. So how confident are you in Casey Alexander that he's going to have Belmont right there in the thick of it, top 5 finish once again here in the Missouri Valley?
I think they're great. I think they'll be fringe top 5. I definitely think that they will take a little bit of a step back with all that they lost. But, dude, I mean, this program just finds ways to win games. Rick Byrd, for as long as he did it for 20-plus years. I got a firsthand experience with Belmont, being at Austin Peay for 2 years. So I know how good this brand is. I mean, Belmont, man, I've seen this in the past where everybody's like, oh, they're going to be down. They lost all these seniors, juniors, but they find a way to gel these pieces together, play their brand of basketball, where they're really good offensively every single year. They're disciplined defensively. Yes, you talked about it. Murray State's the one that's kind of struggled making the jump from OVC to Missouri Valley. Belmont, with their pedigree, they still 20-plus wins, top 4 finishes. I think they'll be around that 4 to 6 range again. I think they'll win 20 again, because that's what they do at Belmont. I don't care how much they lost. It's Belmont under Casey Alexander, an extension of what Rick Byrd was for so long there.
First of all, I'm right there with Crutch. It's like the perfect length of both names, Belmont and Bradley, easy enough to screw up. Bradley's going to be next for us here in alphabetical order, but we're going to talk about Murray State in a little bit, because I think Murray State and Belmont, this is my take here, I think they're both going to kind of switch positions here and pole position at the end of the season, Mac. I think Missouri State's due for a little bit of a step up. Belmont might take a slight step back in conference standings. This is a really interesting year. Let's talk about those Bradley Braves. Mac, I think, well, first off, 23-12 last season overall, 13-7 in the Missouri Valley. They finished 3rd in the conference. Both Indiana State and Drake finished above them in the standings, but both of their coaches moved on, and both programs basically lost every player. Mac, if you told any rational college basketball fan that, Bradley returns Brian Wardle at the helm and the most minutes from last season, I mean, this is the preseason Missouri Valley Conference favorite, right, Mac?
Absolutely. And I'm just, outside of Ben Jacobson, throw Ben Jacobson out because he's been there since the mid-2000s. Wardle has been there. He's the longest tenured coach in the Valley.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know you were going there. I thought you were throwing Northern Iowa into title contention for a second.
No, no. Northern Iowa's like Belmont. Like Northern Iowa. We'll get to Northern Iowa here in a minute. They're never out of it. But in terms of roster, returning production, my point with Wardle is he's all of a sudden the second most tenured coach in this league. They've won almost 50 games in the last 2 years. They got all this production coming back. They're gonna probably have. I gotta look the preseason player of the year. I would imagine, and Duke Dean.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, he's got to be.
Wasn't him?
I think it's Duke Dean. I forgot to check who got the preseason award, but if I had to project, it would be him. But dude, like you said, they've been a consistent 20+ win over the last couple of years. They have an identity, man. They're really good defensively, and they protect home court in Peoria. So, yeah, I like the Braves, man. He's done a great job there. So I love this program. Sir.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Duke Dean comes back after putting up 14, 3, and 4 last season as a point guard, shot 38% from deep. He's a fifth-year senior, little guy, 5'8", but he gets the job done. They have a young wing in Demarion Birch, who's 6'4". He played 14 and a half minutes last season, but he's, I like this Bradley roster. I think they are the rightful front runners. They also have sophomore Elmar Atlas in here, 19 and a half minutes played last season. He averaged 4.5, 1.5, and shot at 41% from three. They can shoot it from outside. That's the one thing about this Bradley team, and last year too, they were hitting. I remember watching games last year where they're knocking shots down left and right, just kind of chucking, and this team was able to hit from deep last year, and that was a huge difference. And yeah, Indiana State and Drake were just at another level, but any regular year where you don't have both of them should have been at large teams last year. Bradley's would have won the conference last year. Darius Hannah returns as the center, 6'9", fifth year, played 26 minutes, 11.5 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, over a steal per game at the 5. Shot at 61% from the field. And I like the depth on this team. You have Christian Davis coming off the bench, who put up 7.5 points, 4.5 boards last season. Connor Dillon comes in from D2 Winona State, shot at 39% from 3, put up 21.5 points there. He's not going to be relied on too much to be a bucket getter, but just play on the wing, get us, knock down a couple of shots for us per game, and he's going to be good. Ahmet Jonovic, 47% from the field, and he's a 7'1" junior. This team is deep. They are talented. They can shoot. I really like Bradley this season. A lot of people have them as preseason favorite, and I agree every step of the way.
I was just about to look. They're a bye game, go on the road and win candidate with how good they are. Sure. I just looked next Friday or 2 Fridays from now, they're in Pullman. Other than that, I don't think anybody played them. Nobody agreed to play Bradley at their place in a bye game. I wouldn't. Fuck, they'll beat their ass, man. Bradley's good. I love me some Braves.
Yeah, and like you said, the defense is always going to play at Bradley. Last year, second best defense in this conference. 2023, they were the best defense in the conference. They've got a good thing rolling under Wardle. Matt, is he there at Bradley after this season if we're projecting him to win the conference? We've seen this with Indiana State and Drake.
Ooh, good question. I mean, yeah, let's talk about Wardle now. Like I said, the second longest, longest tenured coach. And he took over. Bradley was a dump when he took over the program back in 2016. He built it, got him to the tournament in 2019.
They've always had a good home court, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, DeVries was at Drake for a minute. Yeah, I mean, he's only 45 years old, which is crazy because he was at Green Bay for 5 years. So,
Yeah.
goddamn, how old was he when he took over Green Bay? He must have been like 30. So, yeah, I definitely think a Big Ten should take a look at Brian Wardle, a
Big
Big
10 or
12
Big
school.
12. Yeah.
Yeah, right in the middle of America, man. I mean, especially if DeVries goes over to West Virginia and gets that program hopefully for us turned around. That just helps Wardle's case, and then also Schwartz that went over to the Billikens.
Can I say something here?
There you got.
Is he a candidate for Iowa?
He'd be a great candidate for Iowa. He's a Chicago guy, if I remember correctly.
It would be a change of culture for sure, going from more of an offensive like mind to more of a defensive change of pace. But I mean, all the rumors swirling around seem like Fran is gonna be done after this year, or maybe in a year or two, since like his entire family's moved on. What do you got? You're kind of pondering something over there.
Yeah, so he was a walk-on, I believe, for Tom Crean at Marquette, and then he was a Dobo for Tom Crean at Marquette. So
I'm not sure if Marquette's opening up
Marquette's not
reasonably.
opening, but hey, Wisconsin maybe one of these years.
Marquette could open technically if Virginia
on his own.
if Virginia has a down year and Shaka takes the Virginia job. That would be the only way that thing opens. But I think Shaka's pretty comfortable in
Marquette. He's from Wisconsin. He's from Wisconsin, Shaka.
Yeah. Yep. I think he's perfect at Marquette.
Hey, maybe like a Minnesota for Wardle, or maybe
I think Ben Johnson just earned a lot of respect last season. So that's why I said Iowa. I think Fran's probably the quickest one to move.
We shall see.
Good stuff on Bradley. I like that. They deserve a good amount of analysis there. Also, we, Mac, deserve 12,000 subscribers on the College Experience YouTube channel, right? We're less than
where do I sign up for that?
we're less than 100 away from 12K. We're trying to get it before tip this upcoming Sunday night when we do our opening night show for Monday's gigantic slate of games. Go over there and help us out. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on this video. It helps us prevent corporate gambling from taking over America. Go over there, give us a 5-star rating on Spotify as well. It just helps us out, spread this show around through their algorithm. And also, Underdog Fantasy supports the college basketball experience. They have one of the biggest pick 'em menus in all of sports: NFL, college football, MLB, MMA, WNBA, NASCAR, NHL, NBA, college basketball when this season rolls around. And when it does, Boosttober is upon us, and that means you're getting a spooky amount of profits and much more. And right now with NBA, up until October 27th, all of your NBA pick'ems are going to be boosted, and you can use these specials and boosts on all flexed entries. So go over there and sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. And we're back here on the College Basketball Experience, previewing the Missouri Valley Conference alphabetically, team by team. Mac, you wanted something to say, or are you just displaying this for the YouTube
I'm just saying. I typed this out because like you said, I checked it. We're closing in on 12K. And obviously that's not that's not that's not our end goal by any means, but thank you for those that have paid the way and got us to where we are right now and continue the momentum, because I do remember when we started the show 2 years ago doing the previews, there's like 20 people watching and like 20 subscribers. So 2 years, 12K, not a bad little start. And the best is yet to come, baby. Let's go.
Yes, sir. And Big Mink, thank you, buddy. He goes, guys, Noah needs more time on the show. He brings heat, not just producing. Noah for president. I will tell you this, to begin the season, I am...
Is your sister tweeting there?
Hopefully she's not Big Mink 69 flipped.
Yeah, true. Good point.
I will say to begin the season, I'm going to be on the mic a hell of a lot more because Colby didn't do a lot of the previews. So, I mean, both Mac and I did all these teams. I'm probably going to be on the mic for the first 2 weeks-ish. And the shows just take too long for 96 games on an average slate and 3 people. So I usually just pop in when Cocktail Napkin has a great play and I'll give my analysis. I like to go a little bit longer on the games that I lock, and I don't lock as many as these guys. They're the more entertaining ones too, by the way. So I bring heat when it comes to just analysis and maybe some, I don't know, nothing more than analysis, but just a wannabe spreadsheet nerd is all I am. Let's get back to the team previews, right? So we've got the Drake Bulldogs. I'm excited about these Drake Bulldogs. 28-7 last year, 16-4 in conference, second in the Missouri Valley. Of course, they went to the NCAA tournament, though. The Tucker and Darian DeVries era has hopped over to Morgantown for the upcoming season. In comes Ben McCollum, a hot shot from the D2 ranks who won 3 straight natties and 4 chips in 5 years at Northwest Missouri State. McCollum brings over 4 transfers from last year's Northwest Missouri State team. Mac, this was an outstanding hire, right?
Absolutely. I mean, what's not to like about Ben McCollum? And I mean, what, 394, 91? You mentioned it, multiple national championships. He's from the state of Iowa. He fits it. He grew up in Iowa City. He played at North Iowa area community college, and then, of course, had all that success at Northwest Missouri State, man. Dude, and he's taking over a good program, clearly. I mean, DeVries gets a West Virginia job because he fucking won. Unfortunately, he can't keep DeVries' son, Tucker, and the
he
guys
can't win
that
in
were on
March
that
either.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, man? If I could just get to March,
the entire year.
Hey, we're gonna hold on to that 8-point lead at the under 4 timeout, Mr. DeVries, this year.
2 years. 2 years.
Yeah,
dude.
I know. Hey, you can't give away your whole playbook. But yeah, dude, McCollum, Drake fans should be extremely happy with this hire. They're entertaining, man. I'm telling you, they get up and down. A high volume of threes. They play a really unique offense. And you know, it's funny. I was hearing McCollum talk about it. He's a defensive guy, but their offense has got better because he's a defensive guy. They're going to surprise people just because people are going to be like, who's this Division II guy, the snorkeler narrative. But this guy can flat out coach. Drake's in good hands. 20-plus wins again. Top 5 team.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I was looking at KenPom earlier today, and I try not to cheat. I try not to. I want to go in, no media poll, no KenPom preseason rankings, because then I want to go in and find out what edge I have against this shit. But Drake's 4th in conference here, 2 possessions worse than Bradley. Sure, on paper in the preseason, I'll give him that. But dude, this is like the second most continuity roster in the Missouri Valley coming into the year. He brings over 4 of his guys from Northwest Missouri State, sorry. Point guard Isaiah Jackson, he's a graduate senior, 6'3" guard, 32 minutes, 7 points, 5.5 boards, 4.5 assists, shot at 35% from 3, 43.5% from the field. Then you've got Bennett Sturtz, shot at 32.5% from 3, put up 15 points per game, 3.5 boards, 3.5 assists, 1.5 steal per game, 51% from the field. Mitch Mascari shot at 48% from 3. Good Lord. Coming in from Wyoming, Cam Manyawu. Daniel Abreu also coming in from Northwest Missouri State. Shot at 36% from 3, 54.5% from the field, 27.5 minutes last season, 10.5 points per game, 3 boards. He's a 6'6" graduate senior. The only reason why he's not really expected to play is because Tavion Banks comes in from Northwest Florida State, put up 11 and 7 last season with 2.5 assists in the front court, number 11 ranked JUCO recruit. These guys are, I wouldn't even classify it as like a D2 JUCO all-star team because they were all on the same team last year besides just one of these guys. Like, I really think that this team is going to pick up right where they left off last season. You also have Eli Shetler transferring kind of in conference, but I mean, a new regime in both, because he was formerly at Indiana State. Now he comes into Drake. And then Kyle Combs comes in from Wyoming. Look, I really, really like this roster. I'm high on it. I think they're going to play a style of ball that I'm going to love. 3-and-D really fast.
Yes.
Max, anything else that you want to add on the squad here?
You mentioned it. I think people don't realize how good the top of Division II basketball. We've talked about it. All the teams that step up, and they're better than half of the mid majors. If you're at the top, man, of the Division II, we've seen it with Queens, Bellarmine. Josh Schertz did it.
Yeah.
And we've seen Northwest Missouri State go to Cameron Indoor and give Duke a game. I think that was 2, 3, 4 years ago, where they went to Duke and they were competitive in that game. Yeah, dude, they're going to be right there, top 4 in the Missouri Valley.
Yeah, I totally agree. I actually think they're a title contender in year one. They've got they're old, like a lot of newcomers that have played a lot of college basketball. There's not like it's a common theme in this conference. They lose a lot of players, or they've lost a lot of players over the last year, and they're young. Like there are not a lot of teams that have 6 seniors to go around. And this squad, they've got four grad seniors and 2 juniors that have all played a solid college basketball. Next up for us is Evansville, the Purple Aces. And, they lose their top 5 scorers from a season ago. They were 17-18 overall, 6-14 in conference. They finished 10th in the Missouri Valley. They also enter the season as one of Missouri Valley's youngest rosters. David Ragland has been the head coach here for 2 years so far. I'll give him this. Mac, you're pumping your fist over there. Is he one of your guys? Did you interview him?
Yeah, we had him on 3 weeks ago. He's one of 3 Missouri Valley coaches that we had on. Dude, he did an unbelievable job last year, because when he took over Evansville, man, they were worthless. Like, remember they couldn't win a game in the Missouri Valley, so they took it on the chin year one.
Honestly, I thought they overachieved last year. They finished 12th in defense, 10th in offense, and he had 2 guys that transferred out to high majors.
Yep.
I don't know if that's I don't think the ceiling's high, but like he's a damn good coach. He gets the most out of his squad. They were really good in the non-conference, and the wheels just fell off.
Yep. Yeah, they definitely overachieved. And another former head coach at the JUCO level, Vincennes. And you know what about David is he grew up in Evansville. He played at Southern Indiana, but he grew up in Evansville, so he's one of their own in terms of he's got a lot of pride in this job with the Aces, and he's had a good path that's prepared him, whether it's working for Thad Matta, Craig Smith, Todd Simon as well. I mean, he's worked for good coaches. So I think Evansville will be chippy again. You mentioned it; they're going to be young. I think they will get better and better because I trust Ragland. But I don't know if they can crack the top half in year 3, just with all the turnover.
No, it's a tough job. Like I said, I thought he overachieved last year. You had Benham Rickhouse transfer to Illinois, and also Yassine Tomi transferred to Seton Hall. But their offense still finished 10th last year. It still finished last in defensive efficiency. But like I said, like they were pretty damn good in the non-conference. Evansville, just so I can prove myself right here, they started 10-2 with wins over SEMO, Ball State, SEMO again at where was this one, in Chattanooga, a neutral site, and UT Martin and Tennessee Tech in Miami, Ohio. Like, then the wheels fell off. I don't know. I can't remember what in the world happened, but they got broken by Cincinnati on the road. Or no, it was BYU on the road. They lost by 41. And it was like, it wasn't, they'd won like 3 games after that BYU game, but like they weren't the same team after that game. Like we were kind of riding their momentum up until that. And yeah, I can't explain really kind of what happened. But anyways, point guard comes in from Eastern Kentucky, Tayshawn Comer, put up 3 dimes last season, 2.5 boards, 8 points, shot at 36.5% from 3. He's a 6'1 junior. And they bring back 3 guys, Cam Hafner, Tanner Cuff, and Joshua Hughes, that are all looking to play a little bit more minutes this season. They all played in the teens. Hafner played 16 minutes. Cuff played 22, actually. And Josh Hughes played 19.5. All of those kids, shooting is a little bit of a question mark. But expand their roles a little bit, and they're going to be feisty on the glass, I would say. Connor Turnbull comes in from Butler. He didn't play much last season either. They do bring in Ramondo Battle II. He was ranked 37th by JUCOrecruiting.com in the JUCO transfer portal. 15 points per game, 6.5 boards, 1.8 assists at Walters State. He's a 6'8 junior guard, so really interesting there. But I don't think they have too much depth is an issue. There's not a lot of experience here, Mac. So yeah, Evansville is a bottom half team for me. I want to be higher, but just by program history and kind of what's going on here, I can't be too high on them. Anything else you want to add on the Purple Aces before we move on?
No, I think we covered Evansville detailed. I mean, it's going to be a tough year in terms of the roster turnover, but I think that they'll get better throughout the year.
Yeah. You know what also gets better throughout the year? BetUS, because they support the college basketball experience. They've been around for more than 30 years, and you can easily deposit using cryptocurrency and get lightning fast payouts. BetUS is live with their Trick or Treat on Horror Street. From now until Halloween, BetUS will be offering daily promotions plus a raffle entry to win a sports or casino prize pack that they will give away on October 31st. You can enter multiple times for every $200 deposit. It gets you 1 entry. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Promo code SGPN so they know we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sports book. And SGPN's proud partner, Rhythm, is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model or copy one of the top-performing ones from the leaderboard, and Rhythm will give you predictions for every game and player prop, and also has a myriad of stats, research, and trend analysis to give you even more betting insights. Plus, Rhythm's NBA models are now live as the season just begun yesterday. My Pistons were in a dog battle against a dog fight against the Pacers tonight. It was like 101-100. Last time I checked, Cade Cunningham went off. So good stuff from there. That's probably the most, this week and a half is like the most I'll watch the Detroit Pistons basketball the entire season. Go over there and claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Mac, I'm dead serious when I say this. Like, I'm super impressed by our new partners, BetUS, with everything that they've been doing. First off, I think it's the best promo that we've ever had from like sponsorships.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not even like talking like kissing up. Like 125% deposit bonus 3 times is outstanding. First off, the last 2 weeks they were giving away a Mustang. Now this week they're giving away sports or casino prize pack on Halloween. Like, geez, they're doing a lot of stuff. Go over there and support BetUS for us. Great friends of ours, and honestly, I think just the product is good. BetUS. Mac, we're going to continue here. We have the Illinois Chicago Flames, UIC. Last year they were kind of in the same boat as Evansville. They started hot in the non-con. We'll get to that in a second. They were 12-21 overall, but they only won 4 games in conference. They were 11th in the Missouri Valley. And UIC canned Luke Yaklich, a former John Beeline disciple, after last season's dud of a year in conference play. You know, it looked promising after losing in the finals in the Bahamas, but it kind of went downhill after that. Rob Essan comes in from being an assistant at and the recruiting coordinator at Stanford for the last 3 years, which that came after a 4-year stint as the UAB head coach, which basically, he went 500 in 4 years in Conference USA play. Hassan completely turned over this roster at UIC. He brings in a lot of older guys that makes up the second most experienced roster in the Missouri Valley, according to Bart Torvik. Mac, what are your thoughts on this hire? I think it's really interesting. Like, if you can get the UIC to if you can get UIC to 500 in the MVC, wow, that's a tongue twister. I think they're pretty happy, and I think, like, comparing competition from the Conference USA that he was in to the Missouri Valley now, it's not too far-fetched for him and this older squad. What do you think?
I agree with you, but I would also say UAB is definitely a better job at the time in
100%.
the Conference USA, clearly, because they got promoted to the AAC, than Illinois Chicago is in the Missouri Valley. I think that they're still in the bottom half. I know he brings in a lot of experience. He's a Jared Haas guy also, coming over from Stanford, then working for Jared Haas at UAB. I think the ceiling is middle of the pack, but I think they're one of these teams. I need to see it. I need to see some consistency at Illinois Chicago, just because they have struggled to have sustained success under back-to-back coaches now, and for quite a while. So I have proven coaches at the top of the league that I'm willing to back. Illinois Chicago, I need to see it, even though they're super old.
Yeah, Cannabis Capper is cracking me up with the Sword Vitality shout out from last. I think that might have been 2 years ago now. That's how much SGPN's grown, right? So yeah, like this,
like 20 minutes.
This
to make two drink runs to get through that ad read. I was like, come on, finish this already, Colby.
Well, Colby wouldn't go off script, and then that's what makes Colby so great. Is, I mean, you get your money's worth when you advertise with him, because he just makes up some random story or pulls one out of his ass, because he's been all over the country and even Canada on comedy and music tours. So he's got plenty of stories to tell. Give him a drink or two and the motor mouth will get going. Just rev it up. Vroom. But anyways, I like this portal class. They bring in a junior point guard from Texas State. What'd you say?
I said they got talent.
100%. Jordan Mason comes in from Texas State. Played 31 minutes, 13 points per game, 3.5 boards, 3 assists, over a steal per game. I think he's going to be a good distributor. Ahmad Henderson, I've got a little bit of a question about. He's a sophomore from Niagara, a 5'9" guard, played 26 minutes a season ago, 11 points, 2.5 boards, 2 assists. Didn't shoot it tremendously in his freshman year, and now he's taking a step up in class. That's a little bit of a question mark for me, but they bring in Joshua Reeves from Mount St. Mary's, shot at 37.5% from 3, 29.5 minutes. He's a graduate senior, 6'4" guard, put up 9 points per game, 2 boards, assist last season. The one returner from this team last year is Philip Scobai. He put up 8 points per game in 27.5 minutes, shot at 42% from 3. He's a solid piece as a 6'7" forward. You also bring in Sasha Shani from Xavier, didn't play a whole lot last year. Taim Freeman, he's a 6'6" graduate senior, played 14 minutes for Kent State last season. A 6'3" junior guard, Javon Jackson, comes in from Utah State, shot at 38% in 14 minutes for them last season. By the way, Freeman from Kent State shot at 46.5% from 3 in 14 minutes. Modestus Cantclaris comes in from Cal State Bakersfield after playing 21 minutes a season ago for them, 6.5 points, 6 boards, shot at 50% from the field. And Kobe Jeffries comes in from UT Martin after playing 20 minutes for the Skyhawks. Look, it's one of these rosters where I'm just like, I'm going to buy in a little bit to the experience that they've got, because, again, this is a roster with 6 seniors on it. So you don't get a ton of those this season in the Missouri Valley. I immediately think that they're not going to really be in the basement. But like Mac said with UIC, like I said with Evansville, not a whole lot of program pedigree here. There are better, programs in better places right now. I'm not going to have them in the basement. I want to be a little bit higher on them than the typical person. I'm probably going to have them around 9th or 10th here in the Missouri Valley. I've got my rankings in front of me, but it might change. But that's where I'm landing with UIC. Anything else that you want to add on the Flames?
I was thinking the same with you. Yeah, right around that 8 to 10 range.
Illinois State is next. The good old Redbirds for us. I had a couple of Redbirds fans hit me up in the DMs asking me about this Missouri Valley Conference preview, when we were going to do it. They're excited for the team this year. 15-17 last year, 9-11 in conference, which was good for tied for 7th in the Missouri Valley. It was a slight step up for Illinois State. This is one of your guys too, right?
Yeah, Pito, baby.
Yeah.
And dude, the Redbird fans showed up for that episode. So shout out to you guys. Pito, Midwest guy, came from Chris Holtman over at Ohio State, and Butler before that, John Gross at Illinois. Like you said, man, step up. Year 1, 11 wins into 15. They crawl into the middle of the pack. They lost a lot of close games, so maybe this is a sleeper to crack the top half of the league here. It's a good program.
I was high on them last year. They didn't quite get there, but I will say I'm counting it up. Your tally here. That's 2. 1-2, 2-2, 2-3, 2-4, 2-5, 2-6. So they were 2-6, 2-7 in 2-score games last season. Yeah, I like that. The maybe flip around this season. You know, they're losing their top 2 scorers from last year, but they return a good backcourt duo in 6'2" grad senior point guard Dalton Banks put up 8.5, 3, and 3.5. And redshirt sophomore Johnny Kinziger, who shot at 39% from 3, 8.5 points per game in his first season there. The one thing that, you know, Illinois State teams in Pito's first 2 years have done well, you know, they've guarded the 3-point line. They've kept their opponents under 33% in conference in both years so far from deep. So if that translates and they take another slight step up here, I think this is more of a top half finish than a middle of the pack finish here for the Redbirds. So relatively positive outcome I'm predicting for Illinois State. Anything else that you want to add on our Redbirds?
Yeah, they struggled to make shots last year, which is ironic because Pito's a offensive guy. So I definitely think that they will take a step this year. I'm actually going to say it. They're going to be in my top half. I think that they can crack the top 5. Like you said, 2-7 in 1-score games, that returning production. Just in terms of actually ranking where they stack up in the Missouri Valley, they're 3rd. 55% of the returning roster. They're old. Year 3, they take another step here, I think.
Yeah, let's talk about a team that's going to have a brand new identity when it comes to roster. There's still probably some kind of some things passed down from coach to coach here because they do promote from within. Josh Schertz takes the job at SLU after the year they put up one of the best season in decades at Indiana State, 32-7 overall, 17-3 in conference. They won it by a game over Drake, but those two, again, were just on a different level compared to the rest of the pack in the Missouri Valley last year. Like I said, Sycamores promoted from within. Matthew Graves gets the head coaching job. He wasn't able to get anybody that played over 5 minutes a game to come back for 2024-25. So he hit the portal pretty damn hard here. And Indiana State, it'll be interesting because I don't know if what they did last year carried enough weight, because just looking at the transfer portal haul on paper, it's not as impressive as I saw some other schools in this conference. They get Samaj Teal from Presbyterian, played 28 minutes. He's a redshirt senior this season, played 28 minutes for the Blue Hose last season, 13.5 points, 2.5 boards, 2.5 assists, shot at 41.5% from 3. They also get Tyron Cook, who played 28.5 minutes, only shot at 34% from 3 at VMI, which they're just a 3-point shooting factory, 12.5 points per game, 3 boards, 2.5 assists. They go into Coffeyville, which is junior college down there. Janice Summers comes in, 18 points per game, 4.5 boards, 1.5 assists. Marcus Harding comes in from Central Michigan, played 27.5 minutes for the Chips last season, averaged 10, 5, and 1.5, shot at 53% from the floor. Camp Wagner is a 6'6" sophomore guard from Rice, shot at 37.5% from three, but didn't play too much last season. Kamani Doty comes in from Utah Valley, only played 13 minutes. He's a 6'5" graduate senior guard. Look, I don't know. This team is an enigma to me. It was like the toughest team to place in my predictions. I'm going to kind of have them more in the middle of the pack. I want to trust Matthew Graves, but honestly, like, he's never been a coach of D1 level. So
yeah, he has. He 5 years at South Alabama, but he was 65 and 95. But I mean, like you said, he from there he came over with Schwartz, and I mean they got it going, but can he continue the momentum? I think that they can continue a little bit, but they're going to be in the bottom half. I think everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed that special year there that they had last year for the Sycamores. I wish that they had been able to get it to the dance, but I think Terry Holt, a little bit of a step back here for our beloved Sycamores. They just lost everything with Avila and those guards going down to Texas, and then obviously Schwartz as well.
Yeah, Conwell at Xavier, Avila.
I keep saying Schwartz. It's Shirts. Schwartz is at East Carolina.
ECU.
Sure.
Colby's rubbing off on you.
Yeah, Shirts.
He's Larry Nerd. Says Ryan Hasty. Yeah, I've got him more in the middle of the pack this season. If they fall to the bottom half, that would be very, very tough. But I'm not rooting for it, but it could happen. It's in the realm of possibility. Let's talk about Missouri State, who's kind of, lived in middle of the pack, bottom half in this conference for the last couple of years. They had a good year in 2022, I believe. But you know what? Kind of a full circle moment from Missouri State as Kwanzaa Martin is back where his head coaching career began. He'll be roaming familiar sidelines here. A decade and a half ago, Martin led the Bears to 2 20-win seasons. Mac, that's the same amount of 21 seasons that they've had since he left in the, since the 2011, 2012 season. So, Mac, do you think he can rekindle that old magic with a brand new roster full of transfers?
Not this year. I mean, his first year he was 11 and 20. His 10 years are interesting at Tennessee, Cal, Missouri. He made a tournament at all three stops, multiple at Missouri. But he was the definition I use of a boomerang program where they lacked consistency, in my opinion. So I don't know, man. I think they're talented, but I just think Missouri State is I can't trust them in year one of Kwanzaa. And I'm not gonna lie, I have a hard time buying back into a coach that's been at the high major for a decade plus, comes back to the school. And it's like, how hungry is he? Is he as hungry as he was in from 2008 to 2011 because he was a young coach at the time? Now he's in the portal NIL era at this level. I don't know how hungry he is compared to 15 years ago.
I mean, shit, he had to hit the portal hard this offseason. So he brings in Mazade Downing Rivers from Barton Junior College. They won the national championship at his level. He averaged 5.5 assists per game last season. Des White comes in from Austin P after playing 32 minutes for the Govs last year. 8 points, 3 boards. Nick Kramer returns after playing 15 minutes last season. But he's looking for more of an expanded role. Jalen Hampton comes in from the South Plains Junior Community College. South Plains Junior College, not the community college, two different things there. He was the 39th ranked JUCO recruiting, JUCO transfer portal grab. 13 points per game, 9 boards, 2 assists. Alan Udamadu comes in from Morgan State, played 25 minutes, averaged 8 and 6.5 for the Bears last season, shot at 60% from the floor. Wesley Oba comes in from Delaware State. He's a 6'8 senior, played 23.5 minutes last season, averaged 6 and 6, 59% from the floor. From Vincennes Junior College, 12 points per game, 9.5 boards, over a steal per game from Michael Osebansu. Vincent Brady II comes in from IUPUI, rest in peace. It's now IU Indy, but the Jags in 29.5 minutes, he put up 9 points, 3.5 boards, 1.5 assists, over a steal per game in the Horizon League last season. Sam Murray II transfers in from Murray State, and Chase Martin transfers in from Purdue. 6'3 senior, might be familiar there. But this is a roster that I also don't have a ton of faith in. Again, not one of the more prettier transfer portal hauls. This is a bottom half team for me this season in Missouri State. Anything else that you want to add on Kwanzaa's first year back with the Bears?
So I just said I don't know if we can trust him because he's going back to where he was after a high major stint. Yeah. Transition right into the next team because we got the same situation, but he's in year 3 and the transition has not been that good coming back.
No, it's not. But I think it could be better this year. Yeah. I think it could be better this year. They went 12-20 last year, 9-11 in conference, which is tied for 7th in the Missouri Valley. You know, even though Murray State has to replace 3 starters and 2 of their top 3 scorers from last season, by virtue of like the rest of this conference being a little bit down, in my opinion, especially that like I've been saying, the top cream of the crop in the conference, I think is going to come back a little bit to the pack. I think the Racers are poised for a little bit of a bounce back season. You know, after they're returning 6'7 senior forward Nick Ellington after an 11.5, 6.5 campaign, plus their senior point guard Jacoby Wood put up 12.5 points, 4 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal per game. Alongside them, Steve Prohm suited up this roster with 4 more seniors from the transfer portal, which gives the rotation possibly 7 fourth-year guys. And that's by far, the most experienced roster, according to Torvik in the Missouri Valley preseason. Mac, I think you've expressed some concern, but how would you rate this program overall entering year 3? And how do you think this season's going to go for the Racers?
I think they're hungry again. I think that they got a chip on their shoulder. You mentioned it. They're the most experienced teams. I think that they got a little bit of unlucky. Some of the metrics were saying that Murray State was one of the more unlucky teams last year. They got banged up a little bit in league play. I think that they bounced back in a big way. I'm in alignment with you. I think that they're actually a Missouri Valley title contender, which is all this experience coming back. I think they got good guards. I think they got enough size. I think it took a year and a half for Prohm to figure out the Missouri Valley versus the Ohio Valley. He's not playing Edwardsville and EIU anymore. He's got to play the Missouri Valley Illinois school. So Murray State, proud program. They're not going to accept another mediocre year, even though he was so good there in his first tenure. McMahon took a minute to get it going too. Once he took over for Prohm. But then I think if I'm not mistaken, and McMahon was there when I was there, I think it was year 3 that Morant came in and they really took off. And then obviously the momentum of that program got him the LSU job. So I think they don't have the dudes that they had in the past with Cannon, Payne, and Morant, but I think that they're pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. First 2 years for McMahon, they were 500, and then 26-6, 28-5. Boom, yeah. That John Morant fella.
Good pull. I don't know if I'm willing to put the contender tag next to Murray State. Like I said, I think they're just going to float near the top because the top is falling back. I don't know if this squad is contender worthy. I honestly only think that there's probably 2 contenders for a title this season in the Missouri Valley. We'll get to our conference predictions at the end of the show here. We've got 3 more programs to talk about. Let's talk about one of the more established ones, Northern Iowa, the Panthers, 19-14 last season. I know you do. And I'm going to be a little bit lower than you on this team this year. I can already tell. The Panthers were 19-14 this last season, 12-8 in conference, which was tied for 4th in Missouri Valley. I'm debating on whether you can go. Do you want to lead? Do you want to lead with Northern Iowa? Because I'm going to be a little bit negative.
Yeah, I'll lead. So Jacobson's in his 20th year. They seem to, when they have a rebuilding year, which is 2 years ago, then they get into the middle and then they contend for a league title. So this, in terms of the trajectory of the program, is when Northern Iowa contends for the league title, because they were super young 2 years ago.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with you.
They have experience.
Sure, but I think that this has been a little bit of a boomerang program since COVID. I'm going to push back.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, 100%.
3 years.
Look at it.
It's been 3 years.
4. It's been 4.
Yeah, because he lost
20,
everybody
21,
off the 20
22,
roster.
23.
No, the boomerang doesn't exist with this program.
All right,
they're in the top 5 in returning production too, and you're getting the all-time win, or not the you're getting the winningest coach in this league in Jacobson, who's closing in on 400 wins. Dude, they're gonna be in the top 4. Quit hating on my Panthers, baby.
Yeah, I mean, so the one thing that I'm gonna give you and the Panthers is that, they're really good defensively most of the time. The recent teams at UNI have kind of lacked that patented defensive prowess. In Jacobson's first 13 seasons prior to COVID specifically, the defense ranked inside the top 100 nationally 8 times via KenPom. Not once in the last 5 seasons have the Panthers reached that kind of level defensively. There was a 108 finish that ended with a 20-12 season, 14-4 in conference. Then there was a below 500 with 190th defense, then 162nd, then a below 500 with a 208, and then 125th. Mac, I know you like this program, but I'm going to go with a recent trend here. Jacobson, he's been there for a long time. I'm going to have this team kind of hovering around 500 once again this season. I don't think that they're going to step up and contend.
Top 4. Lock it in.
All right, this is going to be the biggest discrepancy on the show.
Culture,
and
baby.
I knew that we were going to go different ways with Northern Iowa. I can't wait till we get into the prediction section for that program. Southern Illinois, Mac, in the offseason, you interviewed my guy from Wright State, Scott Nagy, who comes in. He's the new head honcho here in Carbondale. Last year the Salukis were 19-13, 11-9 in conference, 6th in the Missouri Valley. But new guy in town, totally new roster via the transfer portal. What did Nagy kind of tell you about his squad this season?
He likes his team, and he thinks that they have a chance to win the league because 14 out of the top 15 players from last year are gone outside of Dean at Bradley. So he likes his team. You mentioned it, man. Nagy has won wherever he's been, whether it's been at South Dakota State, whether it's been at Wright State. He's closing in on 600 wins. So in terms of actually, he's got the most wins. He's new to this league. Ahead of Jacobson, but dude, he's going to hit the ground running. I know he's an older school guy, and in the past maybe it would have taken a year or so to get his culture in, but I think he's going to get in the top half right away, just with this team. And dude, this is a sleeping giant fan base, the Salukis in Carbondale. Remember when Bruce Weber was there, Lowry was there? They went to the second weekend, I think twice. Dude, we got to get this program needs to get back to a top 4, top 5 every single year with just the loyal fan base we have with the Salukis. It's a good home court. So I think that they're talented enough. I think they got size. I think they're going to guard. And I think Nagy can coach them up, and they'll get better and better throughout the year.
Yeah, I think the one thing that you can say about Nagy is he grabbed some guys from good programs, and if they weren't like necessarily one of the better programs, just kind of on pedigree, they were kind of the alpha from that school. So I don't know how like it's going to blend early on. This is a team that I want to see in November and December before I truly get behind them. But I do believe that Nagy is one of the better coaches in this conference now after, kind of all the turnover. Let's go through the portal haul. By the way, I forgot to do that for Northern Iowa. We're going to get back to their roster at the end of this when we're finished doing Southern Illinois and then Valparaiso. But Elijah Elliott, he's a 6'1" senior, played 35.5 minutes last season, averaged 16.5 points, 3.5 boards, 3 assists, 1.5 steals per game at UT Rio Grande. Mac, all too familiar with that program and this kid. He's a baller. Ali Dibba comes in from Abilene Christian, shot at 34.5% from 3, played 32 minutes. He's a 6'4" guard, 15.5 points, 4.5 boards, over 1 assist, over 1 steal per game, shot at 47.5% from the field. Davion Sykes comes in from Texas State, shot at 49.5% from the field in 28 minutes with the Bobcats. He's a 6'6" junior forward, put up 11 points, 7 boards, over assist, over a steal per game. Jared Hensley does return. He's a graduate senior, only played 13 minutes per game last season. Tyler Bay is a 6'9" sophomore, played 10.5 minutes for Missouri State. Also coming in with him from the Bears is Damian Mayo Jr., played 24 minutes last season, put up 5 and 3.5. And Drew Steff comes in from Texas Tech. He was a top 150 recruit, but he redshirted last season. So he's a 6'5" guard. Should be a really interesting grab for Nagy here. And also 2 more junior college recruits coming in. Antoine Massey from New Mexico Junior College, 11 points per game, 6.5 boards. And Jorge Moreno coming in from Lee Junior College, 8.5 points per game, 7 boards, 1.5 assists. This defense is going to be really, really good. The backcourt is going to be all up in just like flies on shit. Over 4 of these guys are all nasty defensively. And I like the seniority in the backcourt for sure. This is a top half team for me because I trust Nagy, and Southern Illinois has a good home court advantage. So for me, I'm going to put a little bit more faith into this program and this transfer portal haul than I am in others. Anything else that you want to add on the situation in Carbondale? New year, new era.
And I know Salukis fans watch our episode and that it just feels like he's the perfect guy to get that program back to where it was. Just like he did with South Dakota State. He's the one that really got that thing going before Otzelberger and then Henderson took it to another level. So, yeah, let's go. Let's go, Salukis.
Yeah, Avetta says she's preparing for a good offense and pack line defense. That's the thing that Nagy, so in recent seasons at Wright, the defense was brutal. And like I said, through the transfer portal, I think he got some dogs. So hopefully that improves, because if it does, I think their ceiling could be surprisingly high. Because like I said, I only got 2 title contenders in this conference. We're going to finish off with Valparaiso. Crusaders, Beacons, I don't know what the hell they're going by now. Let me pull this up real quick. They are Beacons again in 2025. I don't know. Somehow Crusaders got canceled from Valpo, but they're 7. Yeah, they went 7-25. What'd you say?
So fucking stupid.
They went 7-25 overall last season, 3-17 in conference, 12th aka last in the Missouri Valley. I want to say this. I'm going to be a little bit bold. Valpo actually had a surprisingly good retention rate for MVC team, with 56% of their minutes returning from last season. Valpo had the Missouri Valley Freshman of the Year, Cooper Schwieger, last season. He's entering year 2 after putting up 13 and 5.5 on 36% from 3, 50% shooting, and a senior backcourt duo in Darius Diavario, who shot it well when his number was called and averaged 5.5 dimes per game. And also 17 point per game scorer Isaiah Stafford comes back. Valpo could take a considerable step up under the former Gonzaga assistant who's there during Corey Kispert and Drew Timme years. Mac, Your thoughts on Valpo? Look, even if they take a step up, they only had 3 wins in conference this year, like last year.
Yeah.
I think probably the ceiling's 6. But maybe they finish 11th in the conference this year is kind of my thought.
Yeah, and it's been a tough sledding for the old Valpo guys, making the jump from the horizon up to the Missouri Valley. I just think in terms of basketball jobs, it's the worst one in this league. But hey, Powell, first year, like you said, they took it on the chin. They bring back a lot. He was there with Bryce Drew when Valpo was rolling on nose and horizon.
Oh, and Valpo,
then and then he went over to work for Mark Few. So, he's been around good coaches. I think that they're going to be better just because of their experience. Maybe they could be that teams that's a little bit chippy in the sleepy road spot. But, can you really see them winning more than like 6 league wins?
No, I can't. But I like the retention. I think they're gonna be feisty early in the season. That's when I think they got their best shot to catch a team or two in conference play. But I want to be high, but nothing supports my gut feeling. So I have to hold myself back. I want to go back to Northern Iowa because I owe it to them to go through the roster. I totally forgot to do this.
I'm right.
Trey
You're
Campbell.
on him.
We were debating on whether or not they'd take a step back. Totally forgot. Titan Anderson's kind of like the big name here. With Bowen Bourne leaving, Titan Anderson's kind of going to be the alpha of this team. Played 28 and a half minutes last season. He's a 6'6" senior, kind of wing. He does it all. 12 points per game, 7 boards, 2 assists, over a steal per game. Shot at 50% from the field last season. He's going to kind of be high volume guy for them this season. They bring in Leon Bond. Only played 12 minutes for Virginia last season, but he's going to give you some defense. I like that addition for Jacobson when I've been questioning kind of how well this defense is going to be this season. Ben Schwieger comes in from Loyola Chicago, also a team that didn't play too bad defense last season. Trey Campbell returns as the point guard, 6'4" junior, who played 28 and a half minutes last season, averaged 9 and 3.5, shot at 39% from 3. Overall, though, I have my doubts when it comes to, whether it was an assistant that Jacobson lost or Jacobson just lost a step. The defense just hasn't been good recently. Since, like I said, I pulled up that sample since COVID. And also, I don't know if this team's really going to have it on the outside shooting the ball really well this season. So I've got Northern Iowa kind of more in the middle of the pack this season in the Missouri Valley. Mac, any other thoughts that you have on this roster? Are you ready to get into the conference preview predictions portion?
No, I love the front court. I love the bigs that are back for Jacobson because he runs his offense through those bigs at the high post. So you know me, man. Culture at Northern Iowa.
All righty. I am going to let you lead off.
All right.
Let's begin 12-1. Chad G also saying he wants it clipped that I want to be high. Cannabis Capper saying me too. So there we go.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Number 12 for you, Mac.
I feel like it's going to be easy for everybody to put Valpo last. I won't. Give me Missouri State 12th.
I'm putting Evansville 12th. Love our guy Ragland. I don't think it's a very high ceiling, and I have Valparaiso 11th.
I had Valpo 11 too.
Okay, so we both agree on that part.
At number 10, I have Evansville.
Okay, well, you give me shit for. I think those 3 are pretty damn close. I am gonna go with Missouri State. I think those 3 are down in the bottom of this conference pretty noticeably. I think there's a little bit of a gap between the bottom 3, the top 2, and then the middle. So who do you have in 9th?
At number 9, I got Illinois Chicago.
Me too.
Okay. At 8, I got them Sycamores.
Them Sycamores. I have who did I say that I was going to put at 7, 8? I hate
Belmont.
that I didn't write it down. Yeah, I think Belmont at 8.
Woo. I actually had Belmont at 7. I said that they're going to be top half, but man, this league, I feel like with just the new hires, I feel like with Southern Illinois and Drake, I like the forward trajectory of this program, and they got a lot to replace. So maybe I think they're going to be feisty, and they'll be like 11. And I think there's going to be a big drop after 7.
I'm switching it up, by the way. I've got Belmont 7th. I have Indiana 8th. So let's go to your 6th place team.
This is where I got those Redbirds from Illinois State.
Okay. I have Northern Iowa 6th.
Yeah, you're off there. At number 6, I just said Illinois State. At number 5, I got my Salukis. Okay. Top 5 year 1 Nagy. I like it.
I have Illinois State there, 5th.
Okay. At number 4, I have the Bulldogs of Drake. I like their team. Solid.
I do too. Number 4, I have Southern Illinois.
All right. At number 3, I'm gonna have. I want to put it 3. I'll put Northern Iowa. Solid culture 3. Let's go. Northern Iowa at 3.
Give me Missouri State. I think it's a good season for the Racers.
Oh my God! I thought you said Missouri State. I was like, what? All right. I like that pick. So I got 2 and 1. Give you a hot take. I feel like the Valley never goes chalk.
Oh, get out of here! You're not putting Northern Iowa 1.
I picked him 3rd. I should have put them 1. Give me Bradley to finish 3rd. Give me Bradley to finish 3rd. Give me the Racers to jump all the way up and win the regular season. I like their experience. Right. I like the roster. Chip on their shoulder. Something to prove this year under Prom. They get it done in year 3 in this league. Bradley finishes a game out.
I'm not going to get cute. I went Bradley winning the league. I have Drake too. I mean, shit. Like if North Dakota State's football program became an FBS team, it would be a top 25 team. I mean, we have not a program, but 5 players and the head coach coming over from 4 national championships in 5 years, 3 straight, ending in 2023. I think that Drake is going to be really, really good this season. I have them 2nd. Bradley 1 because of the home court. And I think they've got a little bit of offense to go with that great defense. So give me the Braves to win the regular season. Mac, your tournament champion.
You've been trashing them, and you're going to eat shit. Northern Iowa's going dancing this year, baby. Ben Jacobson back in the dance. My guy, let's go. Come on.
No shot. No, thank you. It's
not what happening. Do you mean no shot? He's won the thing like 5 or 6 times.
He's not doing it. It's not happening this year. I think it's either Drake or Bradley. I'm going to go Bradley just because I had them winning the regular season too. Missouri Valley don't go chalk, but I'm the one loser that roots for chalk in all of these early March conference tournaments. I want the best NCAA tournament possible. Give me the best 68 teams, but it never happens. Let me die on this hill. I have Bradley as my tournament champ, winning the regular season. Sweet. It's not going to happen, but I hope they win 1. Mac, your sleeper team compared to the media poll. I forgot to pull up the media poll.
I didn't even look at the media poll either, so that's good.
Yeah.
They're probably sleeping on that. I wonder if they're sleeping on my Panthers.
That's perfect that we didn't pull up the media pool. Missouri Valley.
Field of 68 did it.
Yeah, October 2nd. I got it right here. Bradley was first. And then we've got... It's not loading other than the first paragraph, which was Bradley. Come on. They embedded all these YouTube videos on top. That's what's going on.
I know. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Shitty ass website.
Okay, so it's not on the website. That's whoever put together this webpage. Okay, so Bradley's 1, Northern Iowa's 2. Holy shit!
No way. Go. Let's go. You're eating shit on this one, baby.
Oh, my sleeper's Drake. I am way higher than 5th. Missouri State 3rd, Illinois State 4th, Drake 5, Belmont 6, Southern Illinois 7, Indiana State 8th. Wow. Evansville 9, Valpo 10. Valpo 10? That seems high. Missouri State 11 and UIC 12.
Oh, UIC was last. They have a good roster. I mean, Eshon, I guess, is a little bit of a question mark, but wow. All right. So is Murray my sleeper? What was Murray?
Murray's 3rd.
Damn, I picked him to win it though. What's Southern Illinois?
They got a first place vote, so I can't give it to you.
What's Southern Illinois? It was me that voted him, I think, to win it.
Southern Illinois is 7.
Okay, I got him 5th. I mean, I have Drake 4 as well with you.
I have Drake 2.
Oh yes, yeah. So that's definitely more of a sleeper than mine. Where'd you say they were on the?
I think there's 2 title contenders, and Drake's one of them this year.
Oh, there's only you keep freaking sprinkling this non-Northern Iowa propaganda, and the coaches spoke.
I don't know if it's coaches. I think it's media. But
Bart Torvik loves them. Bart Torvik loves them. Northern Iowa. He loves them.
On it.
Oh, he loves that Jacobson chin, baby. Strong chin, baby. Stick together, baby. Yeah, a bus, Missouri State for me. I had him finishing last. What did they have in preseason? 10?
11.
Damn, it's not a bus. Indiana State, did they have them like 7 or 8? My shit won't load either.
Who'd you have 12?
Missouri State.
Oh, sorry.
Bradley not winning the regular season might be a bust. Just kidding. Nah, I mean, it's a valid.
Pick him second.
I picked him second. I had him fit.
Did you go chalk in the Valley?
No, I had Murray State winning. I had Murray winning.
Did somebody pick Murray?
Yeah, it was me. I got a vote. You didn't know that? I was the one that started padding up at Northern Iowa's second ranking, baby. Let's get the season here. Flip Northern Iowa and Bradley. Bradley's finishing 3rd. Northern Iowa's 2nd. Let's go.
All right. My bus is Evansville. They were picked 9th. I have them 12th. It's the lowest team I'm on. Actually, no, it's Northern Iowa. I have the Panthers 6th, and they were put 2nd. I'm taking a stand, baby.
I talked to Bradley was the first team we did. I gave him all these flowers, and then I picked him 3rd. I Benedict. Northern Iowa 2nd, Bradley 3rd. So to go back through my list, Missouri State 12, Valpo 11. Let's go Illinois, Chicago 10, Evansville 9, Indiana State 8, Belmont 7, Illinois State 6, Southern Illinois 5, Drake 4, Bradley 3, Northern Iowa 2, baby, and Murray State 1. Let's go.
For the record, Crutch is saying Kendrick is better than Drake. Sorry, Noah. I don't listen to either one of them actively. Kendrick 100% won that battle, though. And I've always been anti-Drake, but Kendrick won the battle. And for what it's worth, Kendrick is not Northern Iowa. Let's make this clear. Kendrick is more of an outsider than Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa's been there, done that in the Missouri Valley. Kendrick has won some Grammys, but he doesn't get a radio airplay. He doesn't get that stuff. So I don't even know if that's true.
I don't even watch that shit. I don't even watch that shit.
Watch.
Drake and
it's music.
Listen, whatever. It's watch videos and listen to all that crap. I watch hoops and I watch football. That's what I watch.
You sound like me. A lot of people shit on me because I don't watch movies, and I don't have like a huge movie catalog that I've seen. That's gonna wrap it up though. That was fun. That was entertaining. Missouri Valley is always great. Should be. I'm not going to be correct with my standings. This is going to take some kind of turn that I don't see coming. Ooh,
I know you're hating on Northern Iowa. You're already wrong.
Yeah. Sinuses are getting to me late here at the show. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up. Ryan Hasty saying Noah's pop culture breakdowns are awesome. I'd like to think so, but my buddies shit on me because I like country more than anything else. So Crutch says I haven't seen most movies that are classics that everybody's seen. So yeah, I'm right there with me, right there with him. I don't know if he was mocking me or not with the quotations, but yeah, I mean, just my bag's not as deep for movies as it is music. This has been the College Basketball Experience previewing the Missouri Valley. Like I said, sub for us, please, because we're closing in on 12K and we want to get there before opening tip for the 2024-25 season. You can follow Mac on Twitter at moneyline_Mac. You can follow myself on Twitter at NoahB77_. All of our YouTube shows for the conference previews are playlisted. All of our YouTube shows for the TCE trims are playlisted. It's basically the biggest news headlines of the day in college basketball that we'll do like a 20-minute analysis thought piece on. And also college football experience, college baseball experience, the Big 12 college experience, the FCS college football experience. Also, the NBA Gambling Podcast, since their season just started up, go give them a follow if you're looking for some basketball action here and you're antsy for college basketball season to tip off November 4th. We'll be here every single night of the season, covering every single game, picks on the money line and against the spread. This has been the College Basketball Experience. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here.